Okay, this is the first Spectrum video I've done for an absolute age, almost a year. I'll do it as best I can on my phone, but you can see I have an interloper who wants to be part of it as well. So Yoda is probably going to pop into the video every once in a while. I just want to show the sort of... Oh, he's disappearing now. No, he's not. The video is going to just be an overview of my collection, just so I can get back into making the videos, because I really enjoyed making them, but they take a bit of time to produce. Now, instead of doing it on the webcam like the other videos were, this one's on my mobile phone. I did get 3 or 4 minutes into recording another version of this, but I was recording it in 4K, and I didn't know that makes your phone heat up spectacularly. And it got halfway through and the phone just shut down because it got too hot, or the app shut down. So this is what's left of my games collection that I had when I was a kid. So I've lost about 2/3 of it. Can't find where any of the other games I was. So I had about 100 games at one point. There's only about 30 or 40 left. But it's mine, and you know, I still enjoy it. I've got 2 Spectrums. I've got a +2 that you can see here. It's a little bit dusty, but it still works fine. I've got a bit of a problem with the power outlet, but it's not too bad. It's just a bit twitchy. Still like to load games into that every once in a while. And my favourite part of the entire collection is my Rubber Key 48. I've actually taken it out of the box, which is just over the back there, you can see. I don't do this very often, but I got this because I was having a discussion at work with a colleague just about old computer games, etc. And he mentioned that he'd had a Spectrum and he still had it. And the conversation went along the lines of, well, will you sell it? Will you please sell it? Will you please sell it? And eventually he relented and agreed to sell it to me for 40 quid. And it's in fantastic condition because he hardly ever used it. I think he only ever used it a couple of times, by his own admission. It does work. It does load up, etc. But I don't use this because I like to keep that as my shiny thing. The only thing with it is it's got this strange sort of plug setup, really. So the couple of occasions I have plugged it in, I've just used the +2 power supply, and that seems to have worked fine. The games I've got, let's have a look, see through there. I'm going to be sort of covering some of these in other videos. Synapse was one of my sort of favourite shooters. Houston, you could always guarantee a good game out of them. I really enjoyed Synapse, but I was never... Well, I'm no good at any bloody games, really, but I was. This was no different. Don't know why I've written a 2 on there when I was young. So pretended it was Synapse 2. What a twit. Probably one of my favourite Spectrum games of all time. Imagine's Target Renegade. Fantastic game, that is. I've done a video review of the Renegade series, one of my previous videos. IK Plus, again, fantastic game. Spectrum version's really good. Commodore, yeah, screenshots on the back. I think that's it. Yeah, oh dear, we don't like that. But the game itself is a brilliant beat 'em up. And dog. Oh, sorry, I should have turned the notifications off on my phone before starting the video, because you get those annoying dings whenever I get a text message or anything. Scooby-Doo from Elite. Quite a different game to the one that was actually envisaged by Elite when they were originally developing it. There's a good article about that in a very recent Retro Gamer magazine. Turned out quite different. They actually got Gargoyle, who wrote Dunderack, Turner Nog, Marsport, etc., to do this version of Scooby-Doo for It's not a bad game, but it's as far removed from what was initially promised as it could possibly be, really. I bought things like Graphic Adventure Creator back in the day, with the best of intentions, then realised reading the manual, etc., that I didn't have a clue what it was going on about, and I never ever managed to get anything done with it. Still, nice box, I suppose. What have we got here? What's this one? Oh, Elite Firebird, the classic game, still regarded as a classic nowadays. This version I have never ever managed to play. I've only ever played Elite recently on emulation, and having done that, it's not my cup of tea. I don't really like the game, but the reason I've never been able to play this was because if you look at what's contained underneath all the gumph, is this bastard thing, which is called Lens Lock, which was a kind of anti-piracy device that was released for a few games back in the day, and the idea of it was you sort of folded it into a square, placed it up against your screen, where a series of squiggles and jiggles would be displayed, and this was supposed to sort of interpret them into a code that you could enter, but a lot of lens locks didn't work, and I could never get this thing to work. So I've never played the game that's on that tape, from the tape, other than emulation, as I sort of said recently, and having done so, it's not my kind of game. But I can appreciate the sort of work that's gone into it. Let's put all the gumph and the rubbish back in there. Pop that to one side for a second. I have Star Glider. I like that game. I might do a video on that, actually. It was really good, the Spectrum 128 version in particular, some of the sound effects and speech, etc. And the fact that it worked, they managed to get it on the Spectrum, is no mean feat in itself, because I think it was an Atari ST game originally, and on its release it wowed everyone, and one of those games that people were like, oh, that will never work on the Spectrum. But it was, the Spectrum conversion was handled by, if I've got this right, by Real Time Software, who did the classic games Star Strike 2, Carrier Command, etc. And they pulled off a magnificent version of Star Glider. What else is in the box? Oh, a warning, I also bought, as well as some good games, I also bought some crap as well, as I'm sure we all did during our time. What's this? Bomb Jack 2 with Bomb Jack included. Now, I love Bomb Jack. I think that's one of the best sort of arcade conversions there is on the Spectrum. Bomb Jack 2, I remember as being not as good. I don't think it was. Can't recall much about it. It wasn't awful, but it was just not as accessible and addictive or as fun as the first game. But still, I might have a look at those later as well. What else? Oh, Platoon by Ocean. Cracking game. Absolutely cracking game. I didn't think it was going to be. I remember thinking when it first was released, oh, this is going to be a load of rubbish. But it isn't. It's fantastic, especially once you get to the sections where you go in the tunnels, and the box has got a sort of photo of the cast. Charlie Sheen will be in there somewhere. Instruction booklet, and Oh, I might enter that, see if I can get a VHS copy of Platoon. Might have lost it a bit. Ah, I remember this. It came with the soundtrack song on a separate cassette. Helps if I don't chuck it all over the place. Tracks of My Tears by Smokey Robinson, which was, you know, like the theme song for Platoon, the film. A couple of tapes did that. And I think this is another one. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is one of the ones that doesn't actually load anymore. Some of the tapes, I don't know if they're starting to show a bit of wear and tear, etc. Just a super twitchy, and they fail to load more than they load nowadays. It's one of the reasons why I sort of really use emulation nowadays rather than anything else. Now, what other goodies have I got in here? I did have the big box versions of Sabre Wolf, Underworld, and what was the other one? Sabre Wolf. Anyway, these are the only two that I've got left: Nightshade and Nightlaw. Brilliant game at the time Nightlaw was, and I remember vividly still buying this. I still love these instruction leaflets. Ultimate, we all know became rare. Ultimate used to do. My journey's end is near. Da, 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 all that old cobblers and stuff. And the sort of tape itself is that one does load. So I might do a review of that to go alongside the 4 million other Nightlaw reviews that are on YouTube, etc. And still, even now, you know, that looks really, really nice. The box is a bit dented and stuff at the moment. Nightshade's box is, you know, a bit better condition. It's a lot better condition, actually. And as well as the inlay, Nightshade wasn't as good as Nightlaw, I don't think, but it's still really well presented and did some things differently. And again, that sort of feature ultimate play the game artwork is still brilliant. I'm just going to pick a final one out. Let's have a look. One that I can see sort of straight away, really. Finders Keepers, one of the old Mastertronic £2 specials. Corner shop jobby this one was. Never really got into these. I've got Spellbound in there somewhere as well. But I haven't got the final two, Stormbringer and Nighttime, or the other way round. But these are sort of like seminal, you know, these are considered classic games. And I've been planning to revisit them at some point in the very near future, perhaps for another video. Yeah, it's still in there. Okay, that was just a quick sort of overview about my collection, etc. You can see there's a few more in there. And I might do a separate one going through some more of them. Okay, I hope you liked the video. I am going to start doing some more. If you did like it, or if you think there's any way I can improve things, please leave some comments. And if you did like it, then press like. Thanks ever so much, people. Take care. Bye-bye.